On a crisp Sunday morning, we set out for Akhshtyr Cave in the western Caucasus near Sochi. A journey that would transport us not just through rugged mountain terrain, but across 17,000 years of human history, to a place where our ancient cousins once called home. This remarkable cave was first unveiled to the scientific world by French explorer Edward Alfred Martel in the early 1900s. But here is where it gets incredible. Archaeological excavations revealed that 70,000 years ago, this very spot was home to Neanderthals, our planet's alternative humanity. Our path wound along a narrow trail beside the Bzinta River Canyon. The towering Caucasian peaks squeezed the river into a dramatic gorge below. Each time I gazed down into that ancient waterway carving through the mountains, I couldn't help but wonder, what did the Neanderthals see when they stood exactly where I'm standing now? What thoughts occupied their minds? Did they dream of the future? How did they perceive this magnificent landscape around them? I think 70,000 years ago this landscape looked dramatically different. During the Ice Age, sea levels were much lower, and the Caucasus grows at roughly 1 centimeter per year, so these mountains were actually 700 meters shorter, though the lower sea levels somewhat balanced out these differences. It's hard to imagine that representatives of a different branch of humanity lived right here. According to the skulls found, they looked like Russian boxer Nikolai Valuev. That flattened forehead, those prominent brow ridges, but significantly shorter in stature. Don't let their size fool you though. These beings were physical powerhouses. Even an average Neanderthal woman was stronger than the average modern human male.
Нам можно на поверхность выйти.
They were perfectly adapted to cold climates. Those large nasal cavities in their skulls helped them warm frigid air before it reached their lungs. Their stocky, compact build minimized heat loss, another brilliant evolutionary solution for Ice Age survival. Every aspect of their physiology was shaped by the harsh conditions they faced. But here is what truly fascinates me. They possessed large brains, and the debate about their intelligence continues to this day. Evidence shows they had empathy, they cared for their injured, as proven by healed bone fractures found in their remains. They had the beginnings of culture, burial rituals, sophisticated tool-making for hunting, fishing, and head preparation. Yet mysteriously their tools remained virtually unchanged for tens of thousands of years. Makes you wonder, where might they have evolved if circumstances had been different? Perfectly adapted to Ice Age life, they faced a double catastrophe: climate change and the spread of Homo sapiens. Living in small groups of 20 or 30 individuals, they were likely outnumbered by larger Homo sapiens communities. With only tens of thousands of Neanderthals across all of Europe, their disappearance coincided eerily with our ancestors' expansion and dramatic climate shifts. But wait, they didn't completely vanish. Up to 2% of European DNA carries Neanderthal heritage. My own genetic analysis reveals significant Neanderthal ancestry, and this ancient legacy still influences my physical and psychological traits. Recent research shows this inheritance affects immune system strength, skin pigmentations for vitamin D production in northern climates, and even predispositions to depression and addictions.
Такой же туннель туда, скользкий, не заберешься. А вот тупик. Здесь уже результат светового загрязнения из-за того, что освещение в пещере здесь сформировалась своя экосистема. Уже химия в первую очередь. Изначально этого не было. Очень скользко.
Walking back down that trail, I found myself lost in a fascinating thought experiment. What if Neanderthals had survived and built the first advanced civilization on Earth? Given their smaller social groups, would our political map look like a patchwork quilt of hundreds of tiny nations? How would our cities appear? What would restaurants look like considering their meat-heavy diet? What art would they create? What technological heights might they have reached? We now have Neanderthal DNA sequences. With artificial intelligence, we could potentially model what a Neanderthal-dominated civilization might have looked like. The tools for this thought experiment literally exist today. What do you think? Could we live in a completely different world if our ancient cousins had thrived instead of us?